crafty friends, it's Heather Rui here, and today's video is all about choosing color combinations. I recently purchased the color cube and have been loving it, so I thought I'd share some more about it here. There are two cubes available, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I'll be using Volume 1 today, but know that there are two and they can be purchased together or separate. There are 250 cards in each box, with each card featuring a picture and a coordinating color combo. The cards are very high quality and are numbered, as well as more color information on the back. I will be sharing more of the color combos later in this video after creating the main card. These cards have really helped me get out of my color rut and speed up my crafting by taking the guesswork out of deciding what colors to choose. I will link to these cubes in my description below, as well as a video from the creator explaining more about them. Now let's make a card. I will be using this modern heart quilt image stamp set today. There is a coordinating die available to cut out the heart, as well as layering stencils, which we will be using today. We will also be using this elegant modern greeting stamp set with the coordinating die for the sentiment. There are also coordinating hot foil plates available as well. I stamped the heart image and the sentiment using black pigment ink and heat embossed the images with clear embossing powder. I often get asked how to get good results with heat embossing, so I thought I would share some tips. First, always use some sort of anti-static tool before stamping to prep the surface. Another tip is to let the embossing powder sit on the image for a few seconds before removing the excess. This gives it time to really grab onto the wet ink. I also like to give my heat gun time to heat up before bringing it to the paper. I always start from the back of the piece and then to the front, so I'm not blowing air directly on the embossing powder at first. Lastly, if you're not getting good results, try replacing your embossing powder. Embossing powders will not last forever, and sometimes after a while the shelf life runs out. I also wanted to mention that Simon Says Stamp is now offering these engraved clothespins that keep your fingers protected from the heats. I love the sayings on them. Okay, now back to the card. I use the coordinating dies to cut out the heart as well as the sentiment. I'm using these coordinating layering stencils to color in the heart, as well as a sticky mat to hold everything in place. Now let's go back to the color cube cards and pick out a color combo for this card. I chose this rainbow one. Now I know a rainbow is a popular color combo and you don't necessarily need a card to help you with this one, but I tend to use primary or sherbet rainbow color combos, and this one was more neon, so it did spark me to go outside my normal choices. I chose these inks to match. On all of the cards today, I will be using Simon Says Stamp's positively saturated inks, but any inks would work for this. I laid the heart image on the sticky mat and laid one of the coordinating stencils on top. I chose a color and applied an ink with a blending brush. With these stencils, it does not matter which order you go in, as long as you line up the engraving that is on the bottom left corner each time to get the right placement. I continued with each stencil in a different color. These stencils are so easy to line up and colors in the image quickly. You may have noticed that there is only 5 colors on the color cube card, and I needed 6 for the 6 layering stencils. I simply added in the purple to complete the rainbow. I did this as well on the other card examples later in this video. I just chose a color that was in the same color family as one on the card. Now let's stamp the background of our card. I stamped this thank you text background using black ink on an A2 size piece of white cardstock. I used my heat gun to dry it because I used pigment ink, which stays wet longer. I also cut some of these hearts from this mini heart party die and laid them on a sticky side of a Post-it note. This holds them in place when swiping them with a coordinating ink color. Next, I cut one of these Postage stamp dies from black cardstock. There is also a coordinating stencil available. Now we have all the card elements created. I created this card off screen to save some time and also added a pre-printed sentiment strip. I wanted to show you a side-by-side comparison of the heart we did on camera and the one I did off camera. I did the layering stencils in different orders on each of these examples to show you the variety of looks you can get even with the same stencils and inks. I love to stamp on the flap of the envelope to tie everything together. For today's cards, I stamped the Parallelogram background stamp on each envelope flap in a coordinating ink color. So now let's look at the other card examples I created using these color cube cards to kickstart my color choices. I did the same design for all the cards, but just changed the color combos as well as the embossing on the main heart image. I did black, silver embossing, gold embossing, and white embossing for different looks. You may notice that the color combos do not match the inks exactly. I just used these cards as a jumping off point. Like I mentioned earlier, I also added a color to each. You don't have to use all the colors suggested. It is just simply a starting point to get your creative mojo going. Another thing to mention is this is not the only way to get your color combos. I like to make color combo pens to Pinterest, as well as snapping pictures of items in a store of a color combo I really like. I recently did this while shopping at Target in the gift wrapping aisle. Several gift bags had amazing color combos, as well as some home decor items. So there you have it, a way to expand your color combo library. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. I will be back soon with another video. Happy crafting!